creating a custom Pokemon for YouTube, Episode 2. Today's first custom Pokemon is for Nick Winters, who commented right here on YouTube. So alright Nick, let's start by getting the power level of your Pokemon. You can be regular, legendary, mythical, pseudo-fossil god, or convergent. You got regular though, nothing wrong with that. Now let's see how many times your Pokemon can evolve. You can get 1, 2, 0, or the special Split Evo, and you got 1, which makes you a 2-stage evolution line. Now let's see what typing your Pokemon will be by spinning this wheel that has every single Pokemon type on it twice. Your first type's going to be Steel type. I like it. Steel type is probably one of my favorite types to make, and you are Steel Fighting type, which actually seems really interesting. And the last step before we create what your Pokemon looks like, let's spin the X Factor wheel, where you have a chance to get cool things like signature abilities, but none this time. The first stage of your Pokemon is Spartation, the Spartan Lobster. That's right, I said Spartan Lobster, which is a pretty crazy theme, but I like it because it kind of matches the natural armored look of lobsters with ancient armored soldiers. But what's particularly cool about this Pokemon is the way that you have to evolve it. Let me show you. Inside of our actual fan-made Pokemon game, there would be an area that resembles an ancient Colosseum, and in that area, there would be a side quest. And in this side quest, the player would be entered into a gladiator-style tournament where they would have to battle through multiple trainers. And after defeating enough trainers to rise up the gladiator ranks, the player would earn the right to challenge the leader of the Colosseum, whose ace Pokemon is Spartation's Evolution. Spartation's Evolution is known as Lobster, and it's extremely rare because it can only be owned by the leader of a Colosseum. That's right, this Pokemon is very powerful, but Spartation would only evolve into it after you complete this side quest. Today's second Pokemon is for Ep.2. Thank you for subbing. So let's bring back out that power level and spin it again to see the power level of Eddie's Pokemon, and we just barely got a Legendary. That is super hype. That's very rare. Legendaries are awesome. Legendary Pokemon usually don't evolve, but we do still spin this wheel where you have a very small chance to, and you almost did get an evolution. None this time, but I mean, that was really close. Now let's see what typing your legendary Pokemon will be. This is the fun part, because some types are easier to turn into legendaries than others. Dragon's obviously pretty easy. That is a good first type. I don't think we have a Dragon type legendary, and Dragon Water seems like good, classic legendary typing. I think this is the first legendary on YouTube, so if you don't know, we have a special wheel for this called the Legendary X Factor wheel, where you have a guaranteed chance to get something. You got a signature move, which is really cool, but again, all legendaries get something. Before we reveal this Pokemon, let me set the scene. Once again, in our fan-made Pokemon game, you find yourself adrift at sea, where you slowly try to make progress, but suddenly everything goes dark. A light shines beneath you, and you're suddenly attacked by this legendary beast. This Pokemon is Silantis, and its origin is relatively unknown. It's theorized that Silantis was at one point a cosmic-type Pokemon that fell from the sky and now resides in the very depths of the ocean. But what is known for sure about this Pokemon is that it's extremely aggressive and attacks anything that makes noise. Trainers who encounter Silantis on the open ocean can only hope to stay completely silent or risk getting dragged down to the depths. Silantis' signature move is called Silent Depths, and it deals 80 water-type damage with a really interesting effect that at random will silence one of your opponent's moves, which means disabling it, not allowing them to use it for like 2 or 3 turns. I really like this move. It's definitely very strong, but it also reflects Silantis' theme of wanting to like drag the opponent into the depths so they can't make a sound, and that's like reflected in getting rid of their moves. And on that happy note, today's third Pokemon is for Jacob, who asked for one on my TikTok. Hard to follow up a legendary Pokemon, but let's spin the power level wheel again to see if you can top it. You got regular, nothing wrong with that. Third time around on the evolution wheel now. I'm really hoping for a split evolution. I think it's been a while since we've got one, but we're actually gonna get 0, which sounds lame, but it's really rare in our region, so I think it's a good thing. We've had quite the serious theme for today's Pokemon so far. We'll see if we can keep it up with the typing wheel. Your first type is actually none, so if you're new here, that means the next type we spin, your Pokemon is just pure that type, like you don't have a secondary typing. Like you got Ghost, so you are just pure Ghost type. Only one type and no evolutions. Let's see if you can get some love on the X Factor wheel. Not like you need it, it's not like you have a bad Pokemon, but you are going to get a signature ability, which is really fun. So while I was working on this Pokemon, I actually realized it's really convenient and a great opportunity for where I am in my custom game making process. If you haven't been keeping up with the game, this is Siren City, which is the second major town in our storyline. And in this city is a haunted mansion where the gym challenge takes place. But it's a gym challenge unlike any other that all starts when you read this haunted book. Upon reading this book, you'll start to live out the tale of its author, which all starts in these woods. But how is this possible? Somehow this book and the mansion seem very connected, so while you traverse these crazy areas, it still appears that you're within the mansion's walls. The journey through this book will take you up and down snowy mountain peaks, force you to dive through the water to discover new areas, and cast you into complete darkness where eventually you will face the ghost-type gym leader in an epic battle. And it's here where you'll discover that the ghost-type gym leader's ace Pokemon is the haunted book itself. That's right, your custom Pokemon is the haunted book and its name is Grimoire. This gym and everything in it is absolutely insane, and I think this design lives up to that motif, and I actually have a really cool ability for it as well. This Pokemon's signature ability is called Grim Ending, and it allows the Pokemon to cause a random weather effect when it enters battle, and then change its typing to fit that weather. Meaning if sunny weather is randomly chosen, this Pokemon will become a Ghost Fire type. If hail, or I guess snow, is chosen, it will become Ghost Ice type. If rain is chosen, it will become Ghost Water type, and even if Sandstorm is selected, this Pokemon will become Ghost Rock type. I think this ability is plenty strong and definitely fits the flavor of this Pokemon really well. That's going to do it for this episode. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to drop a like and subscribe. I'm a pretty small YouTuber right now, so anything you do actually has a really big impact on my growth. And if you want the next custom Pokemon, make sure to let me know in the YouTube comments because I'm going to pick 3 of you for the next episode.